Let me tell you something you probably won't believe, at least not at first. 3 months ago, I bought myself a little mountain A-frame, signed every paper, drove up there with a truck full of tools and dreams, ready to finally have something that was all mine. You ever have one of those moments where you walk into a room and just instantly know you've walked straight into a nightmare? Yeah. That was me standing in my own doorway holding my deed while a woman in an apron is flipping pancakes in my kitchen and looking me dead in the eye like I'm the criminal. She didn't even blink. Get out now or I hit the lights and call the sheriff. Trespassing. Behind her, bacon's popping, coffee's brewing, there's kids thumping around upstairs, and there are family photos taped up on every wall I was about to knock down, bikes piled on my porch, herbs where I'd planned my workshop, my property. And this woman just grins at me with a spatula. This is our family cabin since the 80s, sweetie. You're trespassing. You want to know what rage smells like? It's bacon fat mixing with the smell of your own dreams burning up. I told her, this is my property. She waves that spatula at me. Good luck proving that up here, honey. Let me ask you, what would you have done? Cops yell cry. Or just stand there watching your future slip into someone else's breakfast. Go ahead, pick your poison. Drop your state down below if you think you'd have fared better. Maybe you live somewhere where the law actually means something. Florida, Texas, fast justice, California chaos. Because up here, none of it mattered. So how did I end up in this mess? Let's back it up a bit. I'm Jake Morrison. 34, divorced, spent 3 years in Phoenix working so many double shifts I could build a breaker box with my eyes shut. My ex got the house, the dog, and half my sanity, left me 50 grand and a hunger to just disappear. The A-frame was a fine 1970s wood 2.5 acres estate sale. No family owner dead. Place looked like it hadn't been touched since disco-dyed cobwebs you could swing from mouse poop on the counters, and that special fixer-upper reek that only broke men can smell as hope. I did everything right. Home inspection, title search, escrow, whole 9 yards. Even the lawyer was just some tired old guy who'd rather eat nails than look at one more abandoned deed. When I got those papers signed, I remember thinking, this is it. This is where it all turns around. Cut to present day, me standing in my own kitchen, and meet the squatters, the Kelsworths. Brenda the queen bee, maybe 52, maybe a few felonies shy of a reality TV contract. Used to run an HOA, got booted for, let's say, creative bookkeeping. She's every let me talk to your manager meme you've ever seen, but in plaid and hiking boots pretending she belongs up here. Then there's Dale. 48, a contractor, or at least that's what he calls himself when he's not staring dead-eyed at his coffee like he's reliving every bad life choice. Beard, flannel, duct tape, truck, mountain man cosplay with an undercurrent of my problems are everyone's fault but mine. And then there's Trevor. 17, got that look like he's half shark, half TikTok troll. Got kicked out of school for anger issues. Just oozes trouble. There's more kids upstairs, I stopped counting. Brenda clutches a crumpled notebook page and goes full Oscar contender. My precious Uncle Harold promised us this cabin. We've been the caretakers. She's waving that paper like it's the U.S. Constitution, tears and all. I'd done my homework. Adverse possession, right? That's when squatters can steal your house if they're there 15 years out in the open against the owner's interest. These folks, they moved in 8 months ago. Owner had been dead for 10 months before that. They're not squatters. They're just trespassers with delusions. Dale tries to play good cop. City boy. Maybe we work something out. You got cash, we got sweat equity, mountain partnership, like I'm going to partner up with the people living rent-free in my house. I told them to leave. Brenda's smile frosted over. Mountain justice works different up here. You can't just wave government papers and expect folks to scatter. By government papers, she meant my deed. I retreated, grinding my teeth so hard I tasted blood. But you know what's worse? They'd already gotten ahead of me. Called the county clerk, filed police reports, painted themselves as victims before I even knew what game we were playing. At the county office, some clerk squinted at my deed and shrugged. Looks legit, but folks have concerns. Sheriff's deputy just said civil matter. Lawyer up, pal. Lawyer up. Sure. I just bought a house. Know what, I didn't budget for a legal war. But the real gut punch. The first time I went to Betty's Diner, the owner looked me up and down and said, "You that California scammer trying to steal the Kelsworth cabin?" California, I'm from Arizona. But Brenda's been out here poisoning every well, calling me an out-of-state fraud, forging documents to steal their heritage. Trevor's outside laughing as he carves scammer into my tailgate with his keys. Welcome to Mountain Hospitality. You see, the Kelsworths weren't just content with squatting, they wanted to destroy me. 3 days after our showdown, I'm slumped at a gas station when a guy in a suit walks up. Jake Morrison. "You've been served." He smacks me with a stack of papers. Brenda's got herself a lawyer now. Chip Hriss. You know the type. His billboard says, "Injured will get you paid." The letter accuses me of harassment, demands $100,000 for emotional damages, and claims they've got squatters' rights. And a restraining order. I can't even go to my own house now. That night I was up until 3 a.m. researching. Bless my ex-brother-in-law, the lawyer who once explained this stuff in this state. Squatters need 15 straight years, and those years don't start until probate closes. The Kelsworths, not even close. Their lawsuit, in fact, was basically an admission of trespassing. So I lawyered up. Maria Santos, sharp, no-nonsense, the kind of attorney who could make a judge's gavel shake. She flipped through Chip's letter and actually snorted. They're claiming rights that started negative 6 years ago. She checked the records. They'd never paid taxes. I had. And get this? Brenda's Uncle Harold wasn't even related to her. He'd sold the property in 1987, long before their so-called promise letter. But Maria warned me these folks were about to escalate. So I started hiking up through the trees to check on my property without breaking the restraining order. Every morning I watched as the Kelsworths rolled up at 8 o'clock, played house all day, then left by 4. Their primary residence was a rental down in town, 3 months behind on rent. They were fake squatters commuting to their crime scene. Maria and I built a case, photos, video records, everything. But the Kelsworths, oh, they doubled down. Private property. Kelsworth family land signs went up. Dale tore out my original fireplace and replaced it with a monstrosity that looked like a casino prop. Brenda started charging hunters $20 for parking during deer season. Craigslist ads selling premium oak firewood from our land, my land, $200 a cord. I found stumps where there should have been trees. $3,000's worth gone. And then Brenda took the battle online. She posted my license plate on every local group calling me a scammer. I started getting calls from strangers wanting to talk. My windshield got smashed. The mountain had turned against me. Brenda organized a Save Our Mountain Heritage campaign, complete with clip art, eagles, petitions, barbecue fundraisers on my deck, invited everyone except me. But I kept documenting every fake residency, every timber theft, every illegal improvement. And Dale. He was selling firewood, running an unlicensed repair shop on my meadow, pouring oil straight into the creek. I found his notebook. Pages of calculations. Cleanup cost $50,000. Value after contamination, $10,000. Insurance payout, $85,000. They were poisoning my land to drive me out, then planning to cash in with an insurance claim. My patience snapped. I followed Dale to his deliveries, took photos, collected plates, and watched as the scheme unfolded. Maria nearly spit out her coffee when I brought her the evidence. "This isn't a civil case anymore," she said. "It's organized fraud, federal level." But they weren't done. Trevor spray-painted scammer across my truck 3 feet high. Brenda kept filing false police reports. They started pulling up my survey stakes, $150 a pop, pouring syrup over them, turning them into anthills. Each move, another felony. They cut my internet, trashed my property, turned my place into a dump. Then they called Channel 7 News, staged a family reunion for the cameras, and spun the sob story of the year outsider stealing our heritage. But you know what? It was all falling apart. The more they faked, the more evidence I collected. Hidden cameras, GPS trackers in the stakes, a neighborhood alliance. Every bad check at Betty's Diner, every harassment call, every community intimidation documented. Wildlife officers and environmental experts started showing up. Turns out dumping oil in the creek brings the feds real quick. Here's where it gets wild. The title company found an old deed with a family rights waiver. Harold Brenda's uncle had signed away any future claims when he sold the place, their whole claim legally dead. Maria dug deeper. Dale's got a fraud conviction, can't get a contractor's license, is on probation from out of state. Brenda, up to her ears in unpaid fines, foreclosure on their rental truck about to get repoed. And they'd been using my property address to scam welfare and food stamps. This wasn't about some family cabin. They needed my house to declare bankruptcy, hide assets, and scam the government. Community turned. Mrs. Patterson, the retired teacher, organized neighbor patrols. Frank from the hardware store tracked every attempt to open accounts in my name. Betty kept every bounce check and fake ID. When the environmental officers showed up and saw the oil spill in the Creek federal case, instant. Insurance investigators pounced on their fake lease, the fraudulent claims. Even the local prosecutor smelled blood in the water. We set a trap for Thanksgiving weekend: maximum family, maximum witnesses, maximum stupidity. My place looked like a squatter festival: tents, ATVs, and the wetland banners. The whole extended family there chainsawing down my last oak tree as the news cameras rolled. That's when I produced the original deed. Maria laid out the paperwork, insurance investigators read the charges, and environmental officers showed photos of the creek. This is now a federal crime scene. Federal agents moved in handcuffs for Dale and Brenda, citations for the cousins, child services for the kids. The look on Brenda's face when her own son's girlfriend handed over text messages about their planned arson, priceless. You ever hear a Miranda warning echo across a valley? It's the sweetest music in the world. Cleanup started the same day. Community volunteers poured in. That Kellsworth restitution order, $150,000, went straight to restoring the creek. We built a nature trail, a visitor center, turned the whole saga into a lesson on how fast things can go bad and how much stronger you get when folks stand together. Brenda got 3 years. Dale took 5. Trevor joined the military, wrote letters of apology. The family got bans, probation, and hefty fines. Maria takes our case to conferences now. Insurance companies use our story as a fraud training case. Me, I found healing in the work. Every nail I pounded, every wall I fixed, felt like another bit of myself coming back. The town came together. Betty's diner became my unofficial office. Frank sent me electrical jobs all over the valley. I even started dating the environmental scientist who led the creek restoration. Community organizing workshops, festivals, everything grew out of that one nearly stolen house. You want the truth? The Kellsworths were just the symptom. There's always someone who thinks they can take what's yours because they're louder, meaner, or think you won't fight. But we proved them wrong. The secret isn't anger or vengeance, it's documentation, patience, and a community that won't back down. So let me ask you, where do you draw the line? When is enough enough? Ever had someone try to take what's yours, thinking you'd just roll over? Drop your story below. Because trust me, you're not alone. Sometimes just hearing someone else made it through, that's all it takes to tip the scales. And if you're facing your own Kellsworths, document everything, get help, and never ever let the bastards win.